What's up everybody, I'm Brian from I Want Tesla, and today I am changing up the wrap a little bit. I'm kind of sick of this is just kind of stale. This is what the wrap has been for quite a while with the lines. A lot of people know me by this car, especially around town here. My kids kind of hate it a little bit. I know some of you guys hate it too. A lot of you have commented to me, emailed me saying I'm turning this car into a 16-year-old kid's dream or wet dream. But you know what? It's my car. I don't really care. So I ended up taking the stripes off of this side here. I don't like just the way it looks, just, you know, back and forth. You know, I do still have the Tesla logo, and that does pop on the white because that's pearl white. I haven't washed this yet, but pearl white and then regular white. And it's down the side. But it needs a little something different. So I'm going to take off the stripes on the other side, so these match today. And then I have a little something in store for this. And it's going to be a little fun project, a DIY project that you can do to change up your car, and it won't cost a whole lot of money. I've got about $100 in material, and we're going to have some fun today. Or probably over the next few days, really. Gotta change this up a little bit before the Model Y shows up. And hopefully you like it, because this thing will be for sale. Somebody can buy it. So I've got a little space heater going here. I'm heating up these. I am gonna take a heat gun to remove these to get them nice and warm, because it is kind of chilly in the garage here. And remove these stripes, clean up the car, clean up the front of the car, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing with new vinyl. That didn't take too long at all with the heat gun. Now that that's done, I'm going to clean up the car, clean up all this extra glue. Just take some alcohol and clean up everything. I'm going to mess with this because I ended up taking the spoiler off for that one video. So I got to get all this glue off and just clean the car up a little bit to get ready for stage 2. That will make a lot more sense here in a bit. The car is all cleaned up. I've cut up some vinyl already, just to play around with it, and I'm gonna lay those pieces down now. I'm gonna wear the GoPro again so you can see what I'm doing. I got that strapped to my forehead, and it's gonna be kind of funky. Not everyone's gonna like this whatsoever, but I don't care. Again, this is mine. What I did was I laid this on top of this. I have an exact copy of what I cut out here, and that is right here. So I can use green, black, green, black, and then I can fill in pieces from there. I also have these two colors. This is it's hard to see on camera here, but this is like a light, very silver. It's got metallic in it, and this is actually a reflective color, which I think will be kind of cool to accent pieces because the silver is not going to really show up on the white back here. I'm going to do some kind of camo wrap with this. I'm going to start with the hood, so I'm going to have a Tesla camo print up front here, covering up not all of it because this color will look good with the green and the black. All right, so this is where we're at so far, and we're right up on it, so it looks a little, and we're getting glare from the lights, but I've got it up on the bumper here. The Tesla word is blending right in, and I do have some other accents that I'm going to do to this, and I'm going to continue down the driver's side and transition this line to go into the rest of the car. Plus the spoiler is going to go over some of that and cover some of that because I will put that back on. But this is just having fun with some vinyl and the car, changing it up quite a bit. I'm going to bigger pieces here on the side. I think I'm going to start with the black. What I've learned from the front here is I'm going to start with the white, or the black and the white, and then put the green over top of it. Because the white is overpowering a little bit on some things, but it's nice to cover up some of it. I think it's turned out pretty good so far. It's a process, and it's really not that difficult. I'm gonna put the GoPro on my head and show you how I cut these out and the tool I'm using for this, and then throw a piece on there and show you what I'm gonna do. Before I finish this, I'm gonna take the heat gun and go over everything to heat up the material to really adhere it down to the vinyl and to ensure that it stays there. And it kind of breaks the memory from the glue that's behind it. This is a VViViD film. VViViD is the company that makes this stuff. So I want to really get that nice and warm so it really sticks to the car. And again, if this doesn't look good, if my wife and kids hate this, it all comes right off. No big deal. You saw how easy it was to remove the stripes? I can remove the whole thing, go back to white. Might have to. This knife will spin around, which is really cool, which allows me to kind of make these weird curves and get some nice movements with this. This is actually made by Martha Stewart. I don't know if she designed this while she was in jail, but it does look like a shiv. Anyway, so really I just want to start and an end, kind of just move around here, and that's it. And then you can use the point to pick up an edge, and it doesn't matter what the shape looks like. It really doesn't. You just take it over to the car and figure out where you want to put it. I kind of want to block this line a little bit, this transition. So we're going to take this squeegee here and we're going to lock this part in and just go straight down with it. And on this transition, that's what's good about film. You can pull it back up if you need to. And I'm just giving some good pressure, not forcing too much, right up to the trim. I'm going to switch over to the sharper edge to kind of tuck it in there a little bit, and then switch back around to go over the chrome. And you can use your thumb as well, your finger. They do make a glove as well, but the glove isn't really needed for small stuff like this. And see, I got a little, oh, see, that's actually on the other piece. Nothing I can do about that, but I am covering it up, so that's kind of nice. And tuck down. And then what we want to do, this is made by VViViD as well. This is really nice because you have, it feels like a pen. So I'm rolling, the noise you hear is I'm rolling on a stool. But you can take this and cut right down the seam and then roll that over with your nail to start with. Put the knife away so you don't cut yourself, and then take the padded part and kind of press it in there. Both directions. I like to switch it around so I can get farther in there. And look at that. And then maybe with the green piece here, that whole line disappears pretty much. Then I'm gonna take the knife back and I'm gonna cut right on top of the chrome. I mean, not on the chrome, but just on the bottom half of it. That way I can take this and tuck that right in. And we're all set. I'm sure some of you are triggered by this, that why would I do this to my car? Why would I take the stripes off and why would I put all these shapes all over it? Well, this is fun for me. This is a lot of fun, and pretty soon the fun of this car is going to wear off, or wear out, I should say, because the Model Y is going to be out and I'm going to be purchasing that one, and this one's going to be for sale. So maybe one of you would like to buy it. Let me know down below. There's a lot of stuff that's going to go with it, like that front splitter and some other things. So having fun with the car a little bit and changing things up, because it's kind of stale. The stripes were kind of stale. This is really fun. And I haven't taken it outside yet. It's pouring down rain right now, so I'm not going to take it outside. But I'm not even done with it yet. I'm going to show you. Basically, all I did was cut shapes out and put them on the car. Now comes the process of cutting off all the little extra pieces here, trimming everything. I've trimmed some stuff, like some of the trunk is trimmed so I can actually open the trunk, can heat and roll the stuff around. I need to take a heat gun to all this so it sticks nice and tight. I have reflective pieces on here. Actually, let me show you. This is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I got some reflective vinyl. The white's going to show up anyway, but pieces like that are going to show up even more a lot at night. Little reflective pieces on the white itself, so it's going to be really fun. This is going to kind of give me an idea of what I want to do for the Model Y as well. I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to do something funky, and I've got some help with that. That'll be coming out later once the Y gets here. This heat gun goes to 500 degrees, and what you want to do is heat this up a little bit without shrinking anything, but it's also going to delete the memory that's inside the vinyl itself. You just go back and forth, and you heat up the vinyl, and you're looking for bubbles. And you're kind of heating it up around the corners so it folds around the corners. And then what you might do is take your squeegee and run it in between. I should probably hold this to my left because I'm right-handed. And you just want to tuck things in. Now this is a trunk, so we can open that trunk to get even more in there. But we're going to just heat everything up and erase the bubbles that might be showing, because we're kind of overlapping things. And really just make sure this is going to stay down. And this is totally different than you're doing a whole wrap. I mean, you do have to heat up a whole wrap if you're doing a whole wrap, but this is just done in pieces, so it's a little different. What you're also doing is heating up the vinyl, and it's erasing some of the scratches that you put in with the squeegee. Because the black obviously shows a lot, so it'll erase all those basically. You really want to heat up around edges like this where it folds in. I'll move to the back here. See, like right there, a bubble showed up. And you probably didn't see that, but this was kind of stretched, so you want to make sure that it's all down. And then tuck it in. Try not to heat the back of your hand. And sometimes bubbles show up and you just push them down with your fingers. This is a bunch of spots where the vinyl comes around. On all these spots, you just want to heat it up and just roll it over. Now we're at a door where this overlaps the other side here, and we're going to take the knife, and we know that this door rolls in and rolls around. This piece would flap around. So we really want to cut it on this side so we can see that roll in there. So basically I'm going to heat this up a little bit just to make sure it's all down. We're just going to shrink this material a little bit here, but all this is down, so I'm going to take my knife and follow this edge. I'm not cutting on the metal. This side of the blade is just resting along the side. We don't want to dig too far down because the metal piece is right behind it. So we just start and trim right on the edge there. You can go in the middle if you'd like to.
For this, I don't mind trimming right on the door itself. Close your blade up, heat it up, take your finger, roll it in a little bit, take your squeegee and force it in and bring it down. And that's all you're going to do for all these. So I've cut some of these already, but we're just going to warm it up and make sure they're forced in. All right, so up top here is a little different. You have this rubber gasket that goes alongside here, which I need to seal a little bit better. You want to cut that along with this rubber gasket here. If we go to the other side, I have two pieces that fold over and then we cross here. So what are we going to do to fix that? Basically, we're going to start everything with heat. So we heat this up, it's going to shrink the material, but also warm up the glue again. And then we can use our finger, we can use the squeegee, really force everything down. It's very malleable when it is warm. So we want to tuck that around and really get it right up to that groove. And then once it's cooled off a little bit, I'm just going to cut right along that rubber gasket on this side. Just got to get in the right position. It's nice to have a pen style blade like this, so you can sit back a little bit, go slow. You can see the line, the groove that you need to be in. And you're not cutting on the metal, you're just cutting the vinyl. Now this is a little different right here. I take the blade and I go right in the middle on the gasket. Really not pushing down on the gasket at all. I'm just cutting the vinyl, scoring the vinyl. And this needs a new tip because it's not working out too well. This is really cool. You take the cap off of this, you slide that groove in there, and then you just snap it off and you got a fresh blade. But this is cut at a sharp angle, so you have a nice attack on it. And a new blade cuts so much better. And then I just wrap my nail over into that groove, and then I just follow that groove down that little strip and force it back down with my nail. And we're gonna kind of do the same thing, but this one, it fits right up in there. Push it all in there. Then we go back over this with heat. Make sure nothing lifts. This back door handle, there's 1, 2, 3, 3 pieces of vinyl overlapping each other at different points. I kind of want to keep this. I kind of don't want the chrome to show through, so I'm going to have to cut strategically just to keep the vinyl on there. There was no vinyl back here before because the white is the factory color on this car. This you're going to want to take your time. Again, start with heat. So what it's doing, you can see that it wraps around itself. As it shrinks, it's already making the line that it wants to go. It's kind of interesting how vinyl works and all the different processes behind it and the tricks you can use. Luckily, we just changed the blade on this. You're either going to see how good I do or how terrible I do. This is all on the blade work that you do. If I cut on the vehicle, not really on the vehicle, but on the vehicle side, I can wrap it on the chrome piece itself, but then we're going to have a white line all the way around. If I cut all the way on the door handle or up against the door handle, we have more of an option to lay the vinyl in, and I think it'll look better that way. So that's the route we're going to try. So we're going to puncture back there and ride our blade on the door handle, knowing that the door handle gets shallower different spots. You can't always just ride it right on there because of the way the door mechanism is. We want to, see, I might have went too far there. I'm going to leave the corners itself. Take your time at this. There's no rush. Again, it gets shallower there. So I barely have the knife inside. And like that. And then we just have this corner here. This can be tricky.
There. I think that went pretty well.
We have our squeegee handy, and this is nice because it's magnetic, so it can stay right with you. We're gonna heat this up. Now you see it shrinking. We're gonna take our thumb first and just kind of pre-roll everything. Now if you had the door free already, I don't have it free because there's a couple spots I haven't cut. You can actually move the handle and roll it in there, make it a lot easier on yourself, but I didn't do that in this case, so we're just going to work with what we got because that is life. We're gonna work at this like a cross-dresser on Friday night. We're just gonna tuck it in. Hope that wasn't offensive to anybody. I think that's as good as I'm gonna get. I think it looks okay. It's gonna look better from 5 feet away. And someone might be asking, what do you do if you heat it up too much and you start to curl it? Like right here, I've heated that up too much. Well, you can actually pull this piece off and do another piece if you're doing it like this. But if you're doing a full wrap on a car, you're not gonna wanna do that. This is not too bad here, where we're just gonna follow the side of the vehicle, trim down, and tuck the rest in, heat it back up, and we're just going to continue around the whole car. And then when you get to spots that this is the fender. You see right there? We're going to heat this up, and we're going to kind of pull it back a little bit. Make sure you're cleaning everything before you do all this. Before you actually run vinyl anywhere, you should have the car cleaned. Then I'm going to hold the knife on the fender again, and we're just using the fender as a guide. Reheating, just run your finger along the side. This vinyl stuff isn't very hard to do, but it's very hard to get good at.